All right. So C3H4, we had a range. Price came out the range yesterday. I actually thought they were actually going to be bullish last night when I saw them break out the range. But what happened is they actually broke back inside the range. So another tip for every range market which you see and you see price fake out, then come back in the range. 80%, 90% of the times, price will come back to the bottom of the range, which means if we had seen this earlier, we could have executed our sells somewhere here. So I still feel like this price will still get to the bottom zone. So just based on that bias, we're going to look for sell entries. So, excuse me, from the earlier high here, you can see we broke this market structure. We came back into the zone, retested. So the first point of interest which I have would be this order block here. If price can retrace back here, maybe take out this high a little bit, then start coming back down, I'll definitely be looking forward for sells on C300. So if price comes back into that order block there, that's my point of interest for sells today. So either a touch or coming slightly above it, that will be a perfect sell setup. Then if they show a nice pattern as well, then we can scale in on that particular sell. And we can look forward for price coming back to around 25.40 is take profit. So this is my point of interest. Of course, price is to actually reject the zone. So it's not a sell limit. I have to see price actually reject the zone, maybe form like a M pattern as well. Then we can look forward for a sell. So that's my only bias and setup which I have for C300. Then going to C1. C1 actually gave nice setup yesterday. So let's just quickly look into yesterday's setup, then get into today. Okay, so yesterday we had a sell coming from this high. Again, we had broken above this level, and we were anticipating price to actually start selling. So let me go with it from where we started. I think we were on the daily, if I'm not mistaken. All right, there we go. We respected that 200 EMA there. So this was our bias yesterday. We were looking forward for either price to break and push up, then we wait for it here, or for price to actually react on this zone for us to actually get a sell set up. So when price reacted on that area, we were interested in sells. They started pushing down. We got active in sales somewhere here. Then these 2 hours, I think we were holding. Price kept us in this range before it eventually melted. It was just a quick 1 hour move down to the bottom side, but we had entered, I think, somewhere in here. So again, that was a clean sell there, clean pattern with a little continuation back to touch the zone. So after this touch, price sort of retraced back into the same area which was broken. So today, two things can happen. Price can most likely still come down into this liquidity on the bottom here. So I'm just going to extend that line. So that's one possible play which could actually happen. Okay, let me make that line straight. That's on 53. We're going to say 53.50. So that will be a potential take profit area if we happen to sell. Or price can actually push up, because right now you can see they are sort of like interacting with this 200 EMA as well. So we still need to see them actually break. If we do break, we can get that sell which I just mentioned. But if price continues bouncing off this area, then they could actually want to be bullish. So that's one thing we just want to keep an eye on. So how we are trading it today, I would say let's wait for price to break the current lows of today. Let's see. Yeah, if we do break the current lows, then price will most likely continue pushing down. Here we can see from this structure at the top, we already broke a zone here, broke a zone here. So we're sort of actually leaning to the downside. So impulsive move, a retracement. If we are to run a fib, just to get a bit of a clue of what could happen, you will notice that from that impulsive move, price is actually reacting between the 38.2 and the 50 level, which is also the zone which was broken right here. So price is retested. This could actually be the second leg selling here, but I'm only looking forward for safer sells below this level, which means if we break below 53.85, that's where I'm looking to sell from. Here we can sell, yes, but I'm not yet sure until we break this level here. So that's my view for C1. This one we're actually actively stalking. We can actually maybe just have one runner on C1000. Because at the end of the day, we do not want to miss a good impulsive move. So we're going to open one sell position on C1000. Then if we break 53.85, we are going to scale in, and we are looking forward for price to come at least to TP2, which is around yesterday's lows. That will be our target. That will be our target. So this area here, that's our target. Anyway, here, which means this trade, if we play out from the runner to TP2, that's about 30 pips. Then if we play out from 53.85 to yesterday's lows, that's about 20 pips. So 20 to 30 pips on this setup is really not that bad. So that's our current target for now. Then if price continues to push down, then we might reanalyze a bit and look for other entries. But for now, let's have one sell position at CMP. We scale in here and we take profit here. So that's my view for C1000. Then going to C500. Okay, C500. C500, we wanted sales yesterday, but for some reason, those sales didn't come. They were just like, they tried to move, but price ended up just pushing up. You can see where those arrows are. That's where I was actually active with sales right on the break of this order block here. They came back again, but you can see we're also waiting for a confirmation here. We wanted them to actually break this level for us to see the continuation down, but price failed and they started to push up. So that was that. So you can see how these safe entry zones help you to sort of not go in all in on a setup until it's confirmed. So that's the advantage of just having just one position. Wait for your safe sell areas to actually add positions and add more risk. Otherwise, if you just have one, it's easier to manage your loss. Even if price comes back to take you out, it's a bit easier to manage than to have multiple positions and price just reversing and taking you out with a big loss. So looking at it today, what are we expecting? Okay, price looks like, let me remove these. Okay, price looks like it's retracing. This definitely looks like a retracement back to the 13 EMA, back to those two red lines which you see at the top on the daily charts. If we go to the 4-hour, those two main red lines at the top, that's where price will most likely get to. If you notice, we also have fair value gap right in there. So if we're ever going to look for better sells on C5, I feel like that zone there can act as a perfect area for sells. Current price action on H4, price could potentially be coming to retest the 13 or retest this order block here. which was left after that impulsive move. So let's see. Yeah, that could potentially happen. Price can actually play out two ways here. We could get a sell back into this gray zone. That sell, let's see if it's going to be worth it. That's also about 30 pips on the sell coming back into this gray zone, because I'm thinking price wants to actually do this. This is the point of interest which we just marked on the daily. We already have an impulsive move here, though it was held by this zone. So again, this also looks like it's a sort of a range which could also form here. Looking at price being held here and price being held by the bottom here. If we reject this and start pushing up, we could fall in a range. But a short-term sell is highly, highly, highly possible. C5. Let's see price. Yeah, let's have one sell position. A current market price as well. What I've noticed is on M15, you can see we have this nice M pattern, right? Price is broken that level and dropped, came back to retest. So this could actually be an impulsive move coming into this order block from yesterday. So we could actually get a clean 30 pips there. Okay, I just open the position. Then if we break this level here, I'm looking forward to scaling quickly there. You can see this move can actually, our TP2 is right on that higher time frame zone, so we can actually get a quick impulsive move. Just come tap this area, then potentially push up. But for now, this is what we're focusing on, an impulsive move which can potentially happen. So at the break here, scaling in, if any candle shows any form of retest of that zone right here, we scale in again, then we just drop with it. So I'd say, yeah, that's my view there on C5. So we've got one sell position on C5, one sell position on C1. B1000 also looks like it's got a setup which can highly play out right now. If we can break this red zone here, which I just put, that's a quick buy right there. Yesterday we wanted to get a buy here, failed. If you notice, we are just trading against the trend. We're just being stubborn here. But here we have a clean pattern, market structure break, price retraces, bounces off this broken order block. So this is also another possible impulsive move, pushing back up to 16,000 before maybe price continues pushing down. But for now, I see a buy. Soon as we break that high on B1, we should take a buy. If we had looked at it earlier, we could have actually maybe caught it somewhere here as it was coming towards the zone. But here we can just wait for them to break this current high. Then it's a possible 50 pip move. If we can get 50 pips, because I feel like price is coming towards 16,000. Why 16,000? It's just a whole number. So I feel like that's where we're coming. If we can do this, that will be perfect. If we can push back down here, I can also take a buy here in anticipation of this. So that's my view there on B1000. Then B5, I believe B5 was also moving because I checked it earlier on the phone. Yes, it's been moving since a bit earlier. We had a nice break of structure right here. You can see this level which was being hit by price. Just simple price action here, a break and a retest. And I feel like price is just coming towards yesterday's high. It's almost there, so we cannot really take a trade here. It's almost there. Unless they decide to retrace, maybe say back into this area, then we can take a buy and TP right here. But right now we cannot buy because they are almost there. But if they just pull down from the current market price and come right into this level here, we can actually take a buy. All right, so that's it for B5. Just keeping it simple with this one. Then step index. Step index, I actually wanted to talk about this setup because it just ended up doing other things. I remember we were talking about this gray zone being, you can see it's a daily zone, right? We came with this zone from this left-hand side here. Respected. So yesterday when we marked out price, we are like, okay, price will most likely go up. If price is most likely going to go up, we also had marked an H1 order block within the daily zone, which was here. So what happened is when price came here and I saw this, I actually took buys right here. But at the same time, I wasn't greedy with the setup. I was like, let me scalp since it's step index. So I was targeting that red line you see inside the, or slightly above. I remember slightly above, because if you go to M15, let's see, yeah, slightly above. If you go to M15, I think I took my trade in here. Then I was also paying attention to the Thetan EMA. So when this price just moved a couple of pips, as soon as we broke above here, I took my profit. Then you realize that they actually came, bounced, then they came below the zone now, and the trend totally changed. So that's a support zone which has now been broken. So the trend is now bearish. We are only looking for sells now on step index. So sometimes if you mark your zones, you see it sort of helps to give you that bias. Once you see like a higher time frame zone get broken, just know the trend is most likely changing to go to the other way. So looking at step index right now, for this trend to actually remain bearish, we need to remain below the broken zone. That's the first thing. If we remain below the broken zone, then we will strongly be looking for sells either end of today or tomorrow and the day after. We should be looking for strong sells. So on this impulsive move, point of interest, number one would be this broken level here. Point of interest number two would be this broken support zone, which is now resistance. They might try to tap into this order block, but if they do come back below, that will be a definite sell. So those are my points of interest there. But in terms of the entry, we just have to be a little bit patient. Let's wait for price to give us a nice retracement. Then we can consider selling. But otherwise, it looks like we will be in that sell motion for the next couple of days. Then going to J10, yesterday, what were we looking for here? If we were looking for sales, yeah, I think we were looking for sales. This was my point of interest, and this was my point of interest. So if you notice in this example, price just melted, broke the previous day's low, retested, dropped. I did not have an entry here. I did not take this trade. Then they ended up trading back into the range, where even going to back to where they opened the daily price. So I did not have any trade. Today, seems like we're still on the 13 EMA. In the last 2 days, I bit undecisive. If you zoom in on the last 2 daily candles, you can see there's no direction there. For the past 3 days, there's no direction. So I'd rather wait maybe for the current day's candle to close before I can trade or actually analyze J10. So no bias there, no setup for now. So if I happen maybe to see something on H1, I might consider a scalp. The only thing I need to see would be price strongly trading above the 13 EMA for buys, or price strongly trading below the 13 EMA for sells. That will be the only reason for me to execute a trade. Okay, C5 just moved. Oh, I noticed, I was checking it on my phone. I noticed, oof, that's a nice move. It's actually almost on the TP. So that one runner didn't even get a chance to scale in here. Let's see on M5. That was a quick move. So if we can get to around 44.30, I think we can secure the profits there. If we can get right here, that would be perfect. Price might then retrace, maybe come give a double bottom, but we'll see. We'll see if they can retrace back into this level which they just broke. We can get a potential sell again. But for now, it's almost on the TP. C1, 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 C1 must pay us. But again, we should just keep paying attention to H1 because H1 will show you if you are wrong in a trade. Once we see them come break above the 13 EMA, they could actually want to take this price up. Remember, we mentioned that price is being held by the 200 EMA here on H1 zone. Until we break the zone, that's why we said our best entry is below the zone. We need that break so that we can actually come down. If we don't break this, then price will most likely go up. So C1, we should just be a little careful with it. Even yesterday, the way they were moving on this area, I even said, let's be careful with it because they kept playing above the 13 EMA with the H1. Trying to break, failing. I was like, let's be careful. But eventually they came down. And if you see notice these setups are the same. If you see the setup from the day before yesterday, the setup from yesterday, it's just the same pattern, slightly different, but same structure. So yeah, let's see what happens. This is the order block I'm looking at. Prices, if they remain below here, we should sell. But again, if we slightly come above, we can cut our loss right there. Then we wait for something better. So I think that's it for day. Oh, C3, we're waiting for them to come back up. We need a retracement. C1, we've got a runner. Safe sales below the lows of today, which will also be below the H1 200 EMA. C5 is in motion, almost on TP. B5, we need a break above this current high or a retracement into this order block here for a buy. 16,000 being the target. B5 is just reached TP. I would say this was the miss of the day, this one. Because when I checked the charts, price was already here and that was a little bit late for entry. This is a simple textbook structure. If you're reading about breakout and retest, this is a simple, clean breakout and retest example. Let's see if the fib would have worked. Nah, not really. There was so much acceleration on this price. They didn't even touch the 38.2. So yeah. So just know again, sometimes if you're using the fib, this is also another example where price does not get into your levels where you'll be waiting maybe with buy limits. They'll respect a support zone if there is one slightly above those levels. And that will also show there is acceleration in the market. So if you're buying, if you're confident with the setup, you can go a little bit heavy on that trade and you can just target the next high you see as you TP. So here, this is exactly how it played out, but this was a miss for us today. Step index waiting for retracement before we look for sells. Then J10, we have no bias. We'll just be watching it for any possibility of a scalp. So that's it from me today. Yesterday, US30, what happened? Let me quickly get into US30. Okay, where's my trading view? Okay. I wanted to wake up to trade this news events. I marked this chart last night and I was like, ish, I've heard ICT talk about this. You see this huge spike candle which was there on the day before yesterday, right? You mark it and you look at the center. If price bounces off here, most likely it will just retrace and push back up. If it breaks, then it will most likely push down. So I would have traded this. I would definitely have taken buys here. I wanted to wake up at 4, but I slept late. I couldn't. I would have definitely taken buys. I even put this is NZD-JPY, by the way. There was NZD news interest rates at 4 a.m. At the same time, I think I slept maybe at 12 midnight or 1 a.m. So I couldn't wake up for it. But I would have definitely, especially after seeing this pattern. But anyways, nice trade there, nice setup. Let me just throw it to my watch list. Okay, all right. US 30 yesterday. It was crazy, bro. It took me out. I remember I took a trade late. I took a trade very late. I think it was this one here, very late because I was up and it took me out. But during our trading time, we didn't really have a clean pattern. Price was just all over the place. During 15:30, 4 p.m., you can see this was the price action we had. Excuse me. So when I saw this setup, I was like, you know what? This price will most likely get here. Then I took this trade. If maybe I had targeted here, then that was going to be perfect. But this price literally came, took me out with this trade. And yeah. At the same time, I realized I think Nasdaq is always better setups. Look at how Nasdaq was. Nasdaq was pretty much clean at 15:30. Price pushed down from 2 p.m. Then there was a clean reversal, inverted fair value gap, clean buys, clean buys. Any buy from here to here, we could have even caught our target here and targeted TP here. It was Nasdaq. I feel like Nasdaq is clean, man. Nasdaq is definitely clean. So today, I don't think I've got any buyers yet. For now, I think we've set all-time highs on Nasdaq as well, if I'm not mistaken. All-time highs. So I'm still open to seeing reversals, man. I'm still open to seeing sells. So I'll advise this as price as we get into New York session. I believe we might have a news event today. Let me check. Might have a news event. US 30 is just this is wild, man. You can check how ugly it was yesterday. Each time I put my money on US 30, it just plays around. The day I look at Nasdaq is the day when US 30 gives a nice pattern. So we'll see today. We'll see what happens. So US 30 set their all-time high, I think, a while back, and they're trading within that range. Yesterday I was also paying attention to this level. You see this level here. We actually touched it, but by this time I was off currencies. I had closed this chart. Wasn't even looking at it. I might have taken a sell. I might have taken a sell there. But anyways, today I'll just wait. Let's see what price wants to do. My analysis here, I think it was coming from was it the 3 hour? Let's see. Yeah, so what I noticed is price is being held. Say that it's a 3 hour or it's a 4 hour. Yeah, it's a 4 hour fair value gap which I used. So if you notice, this is my analysis basically on US 30. These are my points of interest where price can most likely get to. So from this all-time high right here, price pushed down, broke this level, but we are being currently held by this fair value gap on the 4 hour. If we do come back below and give this, this will be a definite sell. I'm sure this will be a definite sell. Of course, we have to wait and see what price does, but I'm 100% sure if we can come below the zone, definitely we're going to get a nice sell. So depending with your broker, some H4 charts don't show you price action like this. This will differ from broker to broker. So on TradingView, I'm using Oanda, so I'm just using that analysis. So today, what am I looking for? Maybe if we can come back in this area, take out a few highs here, we can see, we can get price coming down. Maybe we might come back up here to this level. You can see these are all just points of interest. So I'll just be waiting to see what price wants to do. They might also fall into a range. Like they might just be playing in this area for a while since most of the stocks are buzzing right now. People are talking about stocks and stuff. There's a lot of earnings coming out, so we can maybe stay within the range. That could also happen. But my main points of interest are to either get a trade from here, get a trade from here, get a trade from here. Even here, you see this high here, or get a sell from here. So that's how I'm looking at USD. I'm just leaving it on H4. We'll see how it goes. I'll try to update if we do have live sessions. I'll just be looking at this chart as well. So I think that's it from me today, guys. Thank you so much for joining. This was just like a bonus part where we look at like indices. This one I haven't really properly marked it out, but here I'll definitely be selling if I see this price come back below the zone. I'll definitely be selling. B1 refused to reach. Okay, let's check. B1. Okay, we can buy from current market price. Remember, we're saying we're buying also from here. We can buy from current market price B1000. This was our anticipation, or at least for price to come here. We had two ideas here. So since we are above now, we've closed above. We might get a slight retracement back into the zone, but this buy should actually happen. All right, so that's it for me today, guys. Just a recap. C5, we're waiting for price to get into the zone for a sell. C1 looks like it doesn't want to fold this one. We do have a runner on this trade, but again, the safe sell is below this area. As long as we don't break this high, the safe sell is below the zone. Then C500s, we are in this trade. It's almost on TP2 44.30. We might retrace into 44.60 area, but I think we'll hit TP before we even get that retracement. B1, we are active right now, currently at CMP. B5, we missed the trade. Step, we're waiting for a retracement up for us to sell. And J10, we have no bias. So that's it from me today, guys. Thank you so much for joining. I'll continue just dropping a few notes, maybe in the Telegram group just now. Enjoy the rest of your day. Good trading.